Honestly, making those thumbnails is probably one of the favorite parts of my days. But anyway, November 2nd, I hope you guys are having a beautiful Thursday, a good week. I hope you guys aren't too scared about what's going on the world stage right now. I see a lot of people scared shitless, and we're going to discuss quite a bit of that in today's video here because we don't want that to happen. You know, we don't want all that fear porn getting to us. So let's discuss the storm that cometh. And first of all, let's define that exact storm. So the storm, at least what it looks like from my perspective, is the exposure of the intelligence community and all of their black market dealings and secrets. And by black market dealings, we're talking about trafficking, not only trafficking guns, but trafficking drugs. Obviously, we've had the opioid crisis kind of get exposed in the media and whatnot, but primarily the storm means the trafficking of humans. Human trafficking, child sex abuse, and all of that regard. So what's going on with this whole storm right now is we're basically seeing the outer bands of it. I hope you like my metaphor and my picture here of the storm. We're seeing the outer layers of the storm beginning to be exposed, right? We have Harvey Weinstein, of course. We have recently Kevin Spacey. Yesterday, we had a defense minister in the United Kingdom get exposed. He stepped down, he quit. Multiple people from the media. Recently, a guy from NPR, I don't quite remember the name. We also had somebody from NBC News. Both stepped down because of their misconduct. I believe an executive at Amazon as well. Brett Ratner, I just saw in the news this morning. I'm not sure exactly who that is, but he's a Hollywood A-lister apparently. So a lot of people are getting exposed from all realms, from the political realm, media, Hollywood, you know, whereas most of it is coming from. But, and this is a point I made in one of my last videos, but I'm going to make it here again and rephrase it for new watchers, you know, people listening again. All these people that are getting exposed in the media are getting busted for misconduct, lewd behavior, and harassment. Stuff that's not good, not appropriate by any way, shape, or form, but it's very light stuff compared to what's going on at the middle of the storm. Do you see what I've termed the bad stuff? And most all these people, in my opinion, are under one of two things. They're either getting thrown under the bus or they're cutting deals, okay? Remember, Kevin Spacey, there's pictures of him all over with Bill Clinton, Jeffrey Epstein, right? Stories, allegedly he's gone down to Epstein Island, Lolita Island. Weinstein is very close to Hillary Clinton and company. So that's why I'm thinking, also, point in case, all these people are being reported on the mainstream media. Harvey Weinstein, his story broke on the New York Times, and a lot of these names are getting reported in CNN, NBC, corporate media of that nature, so that's why I'm thinking they cut deals. Or, of course, they're getting thrown under the bus. Could be either the one. But the reason this is happening is because they're trying to, and by they I mean the deep state, the occult elite, they're trying to throw enough people under the bus or cut deals to make everybody think that the storm is just the outer bands and really take people's attention away from exposing the bad stuff here. So, also, I do want to make a note is that a lot of this, I mean, it's kind of damage control that's going on. So a lot of these people that are cutting deals are getting thrown under the bus. There's, of course, some stuff they can't control. There's going to be a lot of people that are coming forward with their honest stories that aren't, you know, associated with any of these agendas or plans, you know, that, and you can kind of make up your mind there. But the majority of the cases are, in my opinion, orchestrated. And, of course, not only do we have all of this attention trying to be diverted by the media towards these people that they're specifically putting out there, but we have a lot of other contingency plans in place. So we have, of course, UFO disclosure or secret space program disclosures and whatnot, but these disclosures would be somewhat of a false flag, you could call it, or, I mean, for instance, like in the Tom DeLonge case, it's not going to be the full truth. But of course, along the lines of false flags, we have the Vegas thing, we have the thing in New York. We just had a shooting at a Walmart in Colorado, I think last night or this morning, that we'll talk about in a minute. So we have multiple contingency plans in place. And mind you, on the topic of UFO disclosure, we also have in the media the past couple days, I mean, one news story that's kind of getting circulated around the Associated Press group. It's this story that says, what would aliens look like? More similar to us than people realize, scientists suggest. So they're really seeding our consciousness. We've also had that story about the alien object that entered our solar system that came out the past couple days, and scientists don't know what it is. So they're putting all these stories out in case they need to run with one. Do you see? So contingency plans. If this whole storm agenda of theirs to hide the bad stuff and get all this out in the open to distract doesn't work, then they have other plans in place. So that's what I wanted to cover in regards to the storm. And what needs to be realized is that this bad stuff is getting exposed, and it will get exposed. And just like I mentioned in my other video, there's so much damage control taking place in that John Podesta tweeting, oh, a conspiracy, or Pizzagate is a conspiracy and fake and all this stuff. So that's happening, okay? I do want to make a note of a couple pieces of news before, we talk about the rest, before we talk about, what could potentially happen this weekend with that bad stuff getting exposed. But Twitter announced that basically they admitted that they hid a lot of posts right before the election last year. They hid about 50% of tweets that had the hashtag DNC leak in it, and they hid about 25% of leaks that had the hashtag of Podesta emails in it. So make up your own mind with that. Obvious, we know where the collusion lies. Corporate media is trying to tell us the collusion's over here, but you can do your own dot connecting to find out where it's really coming from. Not only this, but just this morning we have Donna Brazile out Hillary Clinton, the Clinton campaign for rigging the primary, and this was reported, in the mainstream. So being that Donna Brazile is outing Clinton, and we also had a New Yorker article come out that said the nasty Democrat civil war is, no one's even paying attention to it. We had Politico basically throw Hillary Clinton under the bus. So there is an implosion occurring with the Democrats right now. And that's noticeable. That's hitting the mainstream. I want to make a note of that shooting that happened in Denver last night. There was a man that nonchalantly went into a Walmart in the Denver area and opened fire, killing a couple people. In my mind, the way the media announced it, that he nonchalantly went in and started shooting, I'm thinking he was a MK Ultra, a mind-controlled patsy, especially being in the Denver area. The Denver area, being with underground bases there and the military installations near it. Hotbed of cabal activity. So that's why, be on alert, guys. Not only do we have the New York thing happen, we have this happen in Denver, and then, of course, we have the happenings this weekend of the Antifa protests. So there's a lot of stuff going on. A lot of false flags occurring. A lot of shit to be on the lookout for, mind you. So, and what's going on this weekend, November 4th, we have the Antifa, the anti-fascist protests. I've been seeing a lot of ads circulate on this, ads in newspapers around the country, ads pretty much everywhere. But keep in mind, there's a lot of money, Soros money, recently investing billions. I'd imagine, of course, there's Hillary Clinton money being funneled into their Open Society Foundation, their Clinton Foundation, and all of the nonprofits where the money gets funneled into what happens right here. What's going on with these protests this weekend. So be careful, but also I do want to make another note on the Department of Defense solar flare drills happening this weekend. So the DoD is conducting their drills to simulate plans as if a solar flare, or what they're calling a national blackout drill. So if a EMP, an electromagnetic pulse, were to strike our country, they're saying this is from a solar storm. I mean, of course, it could be human-made EMP, but the DoD is planning a drill from November 4th to November 6th this weekend, coinciding with those Antifa protests. So of course, we must look at this from multiple avenues here. It could very well be, whenever you hear a drill, an excuse for a false flag. We have Antifa protests going on. Perfect opportunity to create some kind of radio communications blackout and pull some kind of false flag. I do want to make a side note on what's going on with Las Vegas, because that kind of escaped the mainstream reporting the past few days. It kind of, they purposefully hushed it out because of how it was getting exposed. Look at the airport. Look at the planes that were flying above the airport in Las Vegas at the same time the shooting occurred, and specifically the 2 or 3 planes that were not responding to calls and had their transponders turned off. That'll connect some dots as to who done it. So anyway, be prepared for any false flags this weekend coinciding with these Antifa protests and the drill. Also, not from a fear porn, expect the worst perspective, but hope for the best perspective. What if these what if this blackout drill that they announced was specifically done to combat the Antifa protests? What if this is being done by white hats? What if there's some arrests that are going to occur this weekend? I'm going to point you, and I will link down below in the description. Always check the description. There'll be stuff linked down below and in each of my videos. A 4chan post of somebody, it's a long post, and it's just the way, I know 4chan, always, be discerning, but with the way this post was written and how many things were said, it looks like that we could have a big potential weekend. This 4chan poster allegedly said that we might see some indictments tomorrow on the 3rd. And some other indictments on the 6th. Again, this fits in perfectly with that drill, but also the Antifa protests. So what if the white hats are, some shit was going to pop off this weekend, so they're planning for it. Lots of things could happen, but I think we're going to have a big weekend with the whatever happens. But just be careful. Again, be prepared. And with these things coming up, it's always good to have food and water on hand. Be alert when you're, out in public and in very unsafe areas, questionable areas. And that's the thing. So this storm is getting exposed, guys, and the bad stuff is coming out. I think we're seeing a lot of stuff come out to prevent it, but it's not going to be done. The way, it's amazing the way the universe works. Even if these deep state occultists try some nefarious agendas, it always seems to work out for the positive. I mean, for instance, this Las Vegas thing, of course, it was a tragedy. People got hurt and killed, but it's waking up so many people, and that's not going to let it happen again. So the elite, in my opinion, are trying to throw all these people under the bus, but all it's going to do is wake more people up and make people look towards the bad stuff. It's going to prep people's minds for this bad stuff to come out. And it will. And again, big weekend. Be prepared, guys. So I'm going to head out for this one, and I will probably do a, shoot the shit Q&A tonight, so you guys can check back in for that, probably at like 6 or 7 my time, West Coast time. Also, FYI, I posted my health webinar that I did up on my website. I'll link that down below if you want to go grab that. It's $9.99 to get the link to stream it. And then my new webinar, I'll actually be discussing, speaking of solar flare, I'll be discussing a lot of science that the mainstream isn't going to tell us. So what's going on with the Earth magnetics, our magnetic pole reversal, the solar flash that we're all expecting. You'll learn a little bit about solar flares and EMPs and whatnot in it, and then how that cosmic radiation and that solar flash is going to affect our consciousness and our own DNA. So it's going to be an awesome webinar. If you do sign up for it, you will get a replay link to watch it however much you want. So thank you, guys. I'm going to head out and check back in later. Holy shit, there's 859 people watching. Probably the most popular live stream I did ever. Anyway, thank you, guys. Take care.